So, why people prefer hiring male candidates in comparison to women? We're going to talk about that today. Usually, it's because women get pregnant. I cannot emphasize this enough. Women get pregnant. Not that that is a bad thing, it's actually a good thing for, to raise the next generation, to raise the next working group. However, being pregnant at the early stages of your career can really be problematic and very costly, especially if you are starting out a new company. You are trying to minimize costs and you're trying to make sure that the workers, infrastructure, everything else is basically covered. So you going on maternity leave, it's actually an extra burden that is not going to be had, because if you're going at the early stages on maternity leave, it means I need to find your replacement and I have to pay that person, you see. So those are the things we are trying to minimize, right? We are trying to minimize. I think being pregnant at a later stage where people have just settled, you know, that will be great. But until women prevent pregnancy at the early stages of their career, then hiring you is going to be a problem. I'm still trying to figure out the camera, guys. Hiring you is going to be a problem. Hiring you as a woman is going to be a problem. The male candidates will always be the ones we select, will be the first preference, because even if they do get in a situation of impregnating a woman, they are not going to go on maternity leave. Oftentimes, there are men who do request maternity leave, right? It's possible. There are times where companies do give, maternity leave to men to help out at home, with a newborn, the mother, and stuff like that. But there's a reason why a woman is a primary caregiver in this instance, because it allows the father to keep on bringing in the money. Now both of you are at home looking after the baby. Logically, it does not make sense. Financially, it does not make sense. There has to be one person, especially the one who gave birth to the baby, to stay at home with the baby. We cannot have both parents now on maternity leave. Logically, it does not make sense. That's why sometimes companies, schools, wherever you work, do not grant men the maternity leave. It's only awarded to women. And even if you're a man, you're like, oh well, I'm entitled to a maternity leave, then it's another problem in itself. You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle to get that money. Now, young ladies, usually we fall in love. Love is great. Love is amazing, right? You fall in love with the right guy and you want to, I'm not going to put myself aside. I'm a woman as well, we fall in love, in the first year, I'm already pregnant and I'm like, oh, maternity leave. You haven't built your life yet. I mean, the 5 years, it's you stretching it. 3 years, just wait a minute. I found my new job and you're already pregnant, you're going on maternity leave. You haven't built in your record yet. Second year, yeah. Third year, understandable. I think the most recommendable year to be pregnant in corporate or anything is 5 years if you're already starting out as a new person in field, because you need to build a portfolio. I'm not saying you cannot do it pregnant, you can, right? But the workload, remember that sometimes it's not just even the workload in itself, it's pregnancy in itself. People tend to underestimate the demands of pregnancy. You are underestimating the demands of pregnancy and what pregnancy does to a woman. So that becomes an issue in itself, because you do not plan well. You do not put your eggs in order. You're putting them in one basket, right? So that is why we prefer men. We prefer men to work. We prefer men to, even when they are sick, many men most of the time barely go. Men, let me tell you, right? even men, when they are, they get, again, I'm not advocating for this, but it does happen. A man will be drunk, they have multiple of what is this, a Red Bull energy drink, and then come to work, let alone that there are those, I'm sorry about that, there are those as well who, you know who are latecomers as well, but they still come to work. But that could be like both for both genders. But there are those as well who can be sick, but they still come to work. But again, we are not talking about those who deliberately go on absenteeism, but you get to see eventually why. I want to put it somewhere here. You're going to see why men are preferred candidates most of the time, and why they have the lowest working, percentage to be and to unemployed. You know, women are most likely to be high to face high unemployment. That's women. Women are most likely to face it, and there's a crisis. You can see as well that this is what women are going through. Where am I getting this much energy this year? Like, I'm feeling myself. You see. So yeah, I thought I should talk about that. Why men are the most preferred candidates, and why the working class, it's like this, especially it's catering towards men more than anything than it is catering to women, because we realize that South African women are more likely to get themselves pregnant, and and more than that, the work drops. Yeah, it's just one of those issues as well. I do not want to discredit women who are doing well. This is not even about discrediting women who are doing well, okay? We are talking about those women who are ultimately lazy at the end of the day. They still want to make their paychecks, and they constantly get pregnant, constantly have operations. Yeah, that's another group in itself. Constantly pregnant, especially at the early stages. Again, this is mostly about those who get pregnant in the early stages of their career without any backbone in their footing. A corporate that's starting out, a company that's starting out, cannot afford to lose money. Every money is available. I cannot pay you just to sit at home because you decided to get pregnant. So what do? I hire a man, and I increase the highest. I decrease their statistics, and I increase our statistics. Where I should be hiring women, I don't prefer women. Why? Women get pregnant because I don't have the financial muscle to cater to women in any other way. So make sure your career is the most important thing in the early stages, right? And I'm sure black men will say, well, we do also have high unemployment, but not to that of a black woman. Not to that of a black woman, I'm sorry. We cannot have that debate right now that you are on the same level of bar. No, you are not. I'm sorry, sir. Um, oh, also, no shade to the man, by the way. No shade to the man. Thank you so much for watching this channel. I'll see you in the next episode where we discuss financial issues and financial growth, where I'm just relaxed on my couch doing the bare minimum. But anyways, thank you so much. Bye now.